Hi, Gabby.
Hi,
How are you?
fine.
Great, great, Gabby. Okay, Gabby, so, well, let's start with the second unit, right? So,
Okay,
please, let's go. Let's go to the book.
okay.
Okay, so we have the second unit. And maybe you can see the unit because it was locked, but now it's unlocked, right? Can you see the unit 2?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to start with this first grammar where we can find gerunds, okay, gerunds and subjects, or gerunds as subjects and objects, okay? So I
Okay.
don't know if you remember this grammar of gerunds, Gabby.
Um, um, yes, so.
Okay. Yes, for example, when we talk about gerunds, we have two kind of the uses of gerunds. The first one, for example, it's when we use them as a subject, and the other one is when we use them, but we're gonna use them in a sentence. Okay, so I will send you a list of gerunds, okay? Gerund
Okay,
infinitive. So we're gonna work with this. Um, okay, and this is not infinitives. Gerunds. I think this is. Okay, so now first I'm gonna explain you, and after I will share you, okay? So in this part, for example, we have infinitive and gerunds, but we're not gonna see yet the infinitive way. This first part is the infinitive. The second part is the gerund here. So we're gonna focus today here, okay, in gerund. So what is a gerund? A gerund, the definition of a gerund always is that it is a noun. Okay, it is a noun, but the composition of this gerund is that we have a verb plus ing. Okay, verb plus ing. So this is the composition of this gerund. The first thing that we have is when we use the gerund, but as the subject, as a subject, okay?
mhm,
For example, here, this is the gerund, cycling. And it comes from the verb that is cycle, but the composition of the gerund is the verb cycle, but we don't put the E, we put ing, okay? So when we have the gerund as a subject, we can use whatever verb that we want to use. Okay, for example, in this case, I am talking about cycling, this activity, this action, okay? And I am describing this action. I am saying that cycling is good for your health. For example, I can use another one where I can say, for example, about another sport that I like. Maybe, for example, swimming, okay? Swimming. So I'm gonna say, or if I talk about this activity that it's swim, I'm not gonna use swim, only swim, or maybe to swim, for example, no. When we are gonna start with a verb in a sentence, always we have to start with the verb, but the verb has to be in gerund way. Okay, so first here I have the verb swimming. I can use in whatever tense, maybe in present, past, future. For example, I'm gonna use now with a modal verb. For example, I can say swimming may be great for my health. Okay, so I am going to talk about swimming, but this is the first use of a gerund when we are talking about the action, and the action always has to be in ing. Okay, so that is the first point. The action always in ing, and we can use whatever action that we want. We can use whatever verb. Okay, so this is the first. The second one, the second use of a gerund is after a preposition. Okay, in this first one, it was, we were telling about that the gerund has to be a subject. In this second one, we have to use always a gerund, but the gerund has to be after a preposition. So what kind of prepositions do we have? We have these prepositions. For example, accused of, agree with, apologize for, ask about, believe in, be used to, blame for. So these are the prepositions, right? For, on, about, of, feel like, that these are together, up, give up, object to. So here we can have, or we can appreciate a list of the most common prepositions, okay? And these prepositions that we are gonna use before a gerund, okay? Like it says here, the gerund after a preposition. So first the preposition, okay? And after the gerund. For example, here, I did my homework before. Before is a preposition. Yes, it's a preposition, right? So as we can use here, this preposition, so what does the instruction says? That after the preposition, I have to use my gerund. Go, but it's not go out, it's going out. I did my homework before going out. Okay, so we can use with prepositions. This is the second use. The third use that we have is with activities. Okay, for example, with activities, when we have in a sentence two verbs, when we have to separate two actions, for example, okay? And we have this list, okay? This list that we are gonna use these verbs, but after these verbs, always we are gonna have the gerund, okay? That's why it says here, verbs followed by gerund, okay? So here we can see these verbs that are gonna work only with gerund, okay? For example, I enjoy. Enjoy, we have to see if enjoy, it verb belongs to the list of the list that works with gerunds? Yes, right? For example, here is enjoy. Okay, so as we can see it here in the list, okay, we can realize that after this verb that is in this list, after this, always we are gonna use the gerund, okay? But for example, what happened if I want to use like, I don't know, I want to say, okay, she wants, in present, she wants a play volleyball. Okay, here I have two verbs, right? So one of these verbs, or in order to separate these verbs, we can use gerund or we can use infinitive. Infinitive is this first one, but we're gonna do it in another grammar, okay? But for example, want, this verb want, can we find here in the list? No, right? So this verb want doesn't work with gerund. So here, is it gonna be incorrect if I put playing? Okay, it's gonna be incorrect. Why? Because this verb wants works with infinitive. For example, here, want, and always I have to put to and the verb, right? But this is not the case with gerund. But it doesn't belong here, okay? So we have these three kinds of uses when we talk about gerund, okay? Prepositions, as a subject, and with verbs in order not to join, for example, to have a crush of verbs, okay? So until here, what about this? Is it okay? Is it understandable?
Yes, it's clear.
Perfect, perfect, very good. I'm gonna send you this part of gerunds, okay?
Okay.
Because this in the platform, it's separated. And the next unit, we're gonna see, for example, is everything specific about infinitives. And after that, we're gonna see everything about gerunds and infinitives, okay? Great, perfect. So I will send you this. Give me a second. And just in case, these are not the only verbs that we can use with gerunds. We have another ones, but I'm not sure where. I'm gonna send you a picture too, okay?
Okay.
It's gonna be useful for you. Okay. Okay. Did you receive by WhatsApp, maybe?
Sorry?
Did you receive my message?
No, not yet.
Which happened? Okay. Again. Okay. I will send you again. But about these gerunds, do you have any question maybe?
No, No, actually.
Okay, great. So right now I will assign you to okay. Mm, okay. So while I'm gonna send you this, I will assign you the exercises in the platform, okay?
Okay.
So you need to, okay. Okay, now it's assigned. You could see it in the assignment part, please.
Okay.
Start with the first one. And please, if you can share me your screen.
Okay. I have a question about this part.
Yeah,
I have like 66 homeworks,
yeah,
and it has like a deadline today, right?
yes, yes. But for example, if you can't finish today, we can
Mm-hmm.
reassign. So you have to tell me, for example, please could we move it until Sunday, for example, and we're gonna move it, okay?
Okay, it's fine. I mean I can finish. But okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going
Yes.
to do it.
Okay. Okay, but for example, if you don't have time, you
Mhm.
only tell, okay?
Okay.
Great. Okay. Pronunciation right now. So maybe it's about grammar, a little bit more about. No, let's go up.
Okay.
Okay, reading, pronunciation. No, grammar. Yes, here you have grammar. Gerunds and as subjects and objects. So this
Mhm.
first one.
Okay.
Okay. So I sent you the document and a picture. Okay, so where you can find, for example, which verbs follows or which verbs works with gerunds. Okay. In the
Okay.
picture, for example, you have the first part that is these verbs works with gerunds.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I think
I might prefer. Yeah. A ver.
okay. So let's see. Perfect. Very good. Very good,
Okay.
Vivi. So the other practice, please.
Okay. Mm, mm, be fine. Mm, we take risk. Mhm. Hmm.
That
See.
confusion, right? Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. It's great.
Okay.
This kind of
I'm going.
exercise, it's great in order to see, for example, in order to
Mhm.
think, right? Yeah, but don't
Yes.
worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mm.
yes, these two verbs, right? Where it was the
Yes.
confusion. Yeah, because
Mm.
in risk, ruining is like
Mm.
arruinando, right? And
Yes.
taking is como tomar, taking a bribe it's like un soborno, right? Un
Mhm.
dinero extra. So this is the mistake here, right? These two verbs.
Mm.
So
Yes.
taking has to be in the first and raining in the second.
Okay. Oh, what happened?
Uh, why? Oh, yeah, maybe here the platform used to
Uh-huh.
identify the capital letters. So, for
Yes.
example, here we are not starting. Yeah, but don't worry, it's a practice. So you did it great, but only was the low letter and the capital
Mhm.
letter that is here.
Oh my God. No, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, okay, but don't worry. So next time you're gonna do it more carefully.
Okay.
Great. Perfect, Gabby. So next we have the other grammar where it is the modals of possibility. Okay,
Mhm.
so I will share you my screen in order to see these modals.
Okay.
These modals are kind of same as the first modals that we had in the other unit. I don't know if you remember,
Mhm.
it was modals of request, right? But in this
Mhm.
case, we're gonna use other models. So now, I think it's here. Models of possibility. So when we're gonna talk about possible things, and we have these modal verbs, may, might, and could. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna use these three ones. In the requesting was can, will, would, right? But
Mhm.
for possibility, only these three ones, okay? So when we use these three ones, okay, we are talking about possibilities, okay? So
Mhm.
what are the structure for these ones? First, we're gonna see some examples here where we are using these three models, okay? For example, in the first one, could you read the sentence, please, Gabby?
Gambling may be a problem for him.
Great. So in this case, we are using the modal verb may. In this other one, it's a little bit the same, but this is another sentence. What does it say?
He might owe a lot of people money.
Yes, very good. So in this case, we are using might. And
Mhm.
in this other one,
This could all be a mistake.
okay. So in this other one, I am using could. So as you can realize, we could use, for example, here we could use might, here we could use could, or we could use here may, for example. It is not gonna be a difference, a big difference between these three ones, okay? We could use whatever of these ones. Okay, so we're gonna go here. When we are gonna use these models of possibility, we are gonna use, when we are talking about possibilities, but in the present, okay? For example, Nick might be guilty. So this is a possibility, but in the present. What about when we talk about possibilities, but in the future? When we talk about future, we have this. For example, our competition may beat us to the story. So this is like a sentence for the future. We are not in the competition yet, but we're talking about the future, right? So in this part, as here we can see, we can use these modal verbs. And after these modal verbs, of course, we can use be going to or will, it says, when we talk about possibilities in the future, okay? But these are more like sentences or planning in the future, okay? Will and be going to, we're going to use it for things that could be possible, but in the future, okay? In the future, only in the future. So here, for example, Talia is not going to stop investigating. No va a parar de investigar. She won't quit. Ella no renunciará, right? So these are the two possible things that we are certain, we are 100% that is going to happen, okay? So what other thing we have to know with this? When we talk about may, might, and could, always we have to use the verb in base form, it says. So what does it mean? That we have a structure where we have to use, for example, always, first we're going to start with the subject. After the subject, we are going to have the modal verb, the modal that is may, might, or could. After, we have always the verb, but the verb has to be in base form, always. Without to, without ing, the verb in base form, okay? And after, the complement. So for example, we could say, I may go out tonight. Okay, I may go out tonight. So this is a possibility. It could be possible, or maybe it couldn't be possible. Okay, great. So this is the structure. So when we talk about possibilities, okay, what does it says? We're gonna use could, okay, for questions. Well, we're gonna say this. May, we could use with affirmatives. Affirmative sentences, okay? Might, we could use with, well, these two ones with affirmative and negative. The same for might, affirmative and negative. And could, we could use for three ones, affirmative, okay? But in most of the cases, we use could, okay, in order to use only for affirmatives and question. Of course, we can use with negatives, but when we talk about grammar, it's incorrect to use with negative sentences, okay? So only with affirmatives and questions. But of course here, may we could use with affirmative and negative. We are not gonna use may with questions. We can use, of course, for example, may I go to the bathroom? But that is a modal of permission when we use in questions, okay? But as we are talking about possibilities, the only word that we could use for questions is could, okay? And might, we can use it, of course, with negative and affirmative, okay? So, this is for affirmative. We did 3 ones. What happened with negative? Negative, it's gonna be the same. Subject plus may not, or maybe might not. Okay, only these 2 ones. Of course, the verb, as we were saying, the verb, but the verb in base form plus the complement. Okay, so for example, we can say they may not travel. They may not travel. Okay, we could put without us, for example. Okay, so it is not a possibility. When we talk about question, only we could use could. Could, always at the beginning, plus subject, plus the verb, but the verb in base form, plus the complement, and plus the question mark. For example, could we go with you? Okay, could we go with you? So we can use for questions, okay? As we can see here in the platform. We only use may not and might not in negative statements. We don't usually use could not. Here it says usually because of course it is correct to use couldn't. But when we talk about possibility, we can't use couldn't, okay? Only may not or might not, okay? So here for questions, as we were talking before, we could use only for questions the modal verb could, nothing else, okay? Or maybe in some cases you could see this, for example, do you think? It's the same as could. For example, here, could Nick be innocent? Is he innocent, honest? Do you think he is telling the truth? He might be. So always we can answer with maybe might, maybe with may, okay? And if in the question, if we have the verb to be, always we are gonna use the verb to be with may or might, okay? The option that we have, okay? But the answer is gonna be that, okay? For example, could we go with you? You might. It's like saying, of course, for example, okay? You might. So that is the way of the uses, how we're gonna answer, okay? Okay, so until here, Gabby, do you have some question?
No, it's fine.
Very good. Okay, so now let's go to the platform, okay? And let's see the exercises to see if everything is correct, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let's go. Models of possibility 1.
Okay. Mm. 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 Are going to.
Okay. Perfect, right? For example, in that exercise where you have the doubt before or between might and are going to, we said that when we have future like will or be going to, it's
Mm-hmm.
like a possibility, but 100% that it's going to happen. It's not like a possibility that maybe yes, maybe no. It's a
Mm-hmm.
100%, right? For example, in this sentence, it started with Newsline has no choice. So it doesn't have any choice. So it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
100%, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Great, Gabby. So let's
Okay.
go next one.
Mm. He. Mm-hmm. Okay. um,
Okay.
doing this, but maybe. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, this was like a little bit more to think. Okay. Okay, two mistakes. Well, in the, okay, 2 and 4, right? It is because you put it B, but only you have to put B when the question is with verb to be. But for example, here, Josh says, do you think Talia will discover the truth? Right? But he is not using verb to be, right? For
Mm-hmm.
example, do you think Talia is innocent? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not, right? So only might, only might.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the same happened in 4. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
is Talia going to get her break with this story? So only, well, according to the conversation, it's in negative, right? She might not, because when Josh answered, I don't agree. They might not, right? So the other question, so the answer in this part is she might not, only not, but without be.
Okay. Okay. This this was good.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
That was good. The sentence that you had the doubt.
Yes. Okay. I'm not going to put a capital letter this time.
Yeah. Yes. 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 For example, when you are gonna do the tasks or the quizzes, yes, you have to be careful with that. Okay, most in the
Okay.
quizzes, because in the quizzes you only have one opportunity. Yes. Okay.
I'm sorry, but I'm not understanding this. I don't know if it's because I'm too tired. I'm sorry, but
Don't worry.
what does it mean? Is Talia going to take her break with this history?
It's like, for example, that if she's going to be like recognized for everybody, or it's like if she's gonna have exit with this story, for example. That is an expression when we use
Mm,
break.
okay, that's why maybe I get confused. Like maybe she might going um to to be a star. I don't know, but it's a top one. Top one.
Yeah, yeah. For example, it's a thought one. Thought one
Mhm.
is like saying like, no, it's like that she's not able to do it. It's a thought one. It's like saying, no, she's bad, for example. She doesn't
Oh,
know how to do it, for example.
mhm. Okay, entonces it's correct that she might not. It's a tough one,
Yeah,
right?
it's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Hmm,
Perfect. Now it's
okay.
okay. Everything is okay. Great, Gabby. So, well, after this, tomorrow we are gonna finish with the next grammar, okay? That is the reflexive pronouns. And tomorrow, if you have some doubts about some tasks about the unit one or this second unit, we are gonna clear the doubts up, okay?
Okay.
So today we're gonna stay here. If you don't have any question, of course.
No, it was clear.
Okay, perfect, Gabby. So see you tomorrow at the same schedule, okay? I'm gonna send you survey. So we're gonna finish here.
Okay.
But don't forget to tell me if you
Mhm.
need a little bit more of time. Maybe, for example, with the task, we can reassign until tomorrow.
No, it's okay. I'm going to. Tomorrow it's going to be a very hard day, so I prefer to
Okay,
do it right now, and I'm going to
take a rest
take the
now.
yes, I'm going to take the quizzes
Yeah,
like that with the red line
okay,
in Saturday when I'm going to be more calm.
okay. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, it's uploading. Okay, Gabby, so see you tomorrow and take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye bye.